The EWEB team, together with partners like the Upper Willamette SWCD and the Mackenzie Watershed Council, analyzed the riparian habitat at EWEB's Berggren demonstration farm. The farm has large ag plots like the one seen here, with good riparian habitat in the background. Chris Stonencell begins to talk about this habitat.
Intercept rain and then let the rain percolate into the soil slowly so that it's able to just move through the water table into the river, instead of, one of our biggest issues is because of all of the paved areas and farmlands and everything else. Rain hits the ground and rushes into the rivers, and the rivers flood and drop and flood and drop. So the more we can have areas that are actually taking that water and letting it slowly infiltrate and move in through the water table, it creates longer term stability in the rivers and helps replenish the water tables and everything else, plus all that they do to have the right nutrient cycles and all the good stuff they do. This is a good example because of the shade of some pretty good species diversity. With just kind of a quick look, there's over a dozen species, all native, kind of cohabitating with the reed canary that's trying to come in, but providing all the different benefits that they will.
The EWEB team, with Chris, explores the tributaries on the farm.
In the background especially, a really healthy stand of tall native willows and big cottonwoods up behind them, so it's showing that you have some good shading characteristics. There's a stand of Scotch broom in the front, which is an invasive but it's easily manageable. That's the big piece of this. We've got a side channel that's got the reed canary come into it, but it's not being taken over with the taller growing species like Japanese knotweed, but there's still more potential to bring some of those willows, move them in towards the side channel and support them. Non-native grasses tend to be more matting and shallower, whereas our native grasses can go down many feet. And in fact, native plants can go more than 10 feet down into the soil, which changes the way that they're actually able to help water percolate into the soil, so that you don't get runoff, so that the rivers, don't jump up every time it rains. It's able to take things in so that it slowly feeds the rivers and things stay a little more stable. And when farms are using fertilizers and herbicides and other chemicals, and those are potentially moving in, or even just the sediment, a lot of the time it's just the sediment that's coming in from the farmland and everything, and just the physical ability to stop that silt from getting into the river. But when you have shrub components and tree components, when it floods through here, and you can find places where there's duff piled up at a level where the floods hit, they pull debris out of the river and they slow the force of the floodwaters.
The EWEB team, with partner experts, then investigates and describes the invasive problems facing many properties in the boundary.
It really takes over wet areas. You can see it's got a little bit of a bamboo look to it. It's really hard to get rid of it, especially once to get along stream banks. And being a perennial, not only does it start by pushing all the natives out and taking over that stream bank, but then as a perennial, it dies back in the winter, so it provides little or no buffer to erosion of those banks.
Some of the eligibility criteria for entering into the VIP will involve percent cover by invasive species. Here, reed canary grass is the dominant understory vegetation, and has crowded out a more diverse understory that would increase the water quality in the Mackenzie River watershed. Here, the team now moves to a tributary and analyzes a coniferous forest. This is an example of high-quality coniferous riparian habitat. This particular tree stand is growing next to a side channel of the Mackenzie River watershed. Landowners within the VIP boundary that have property along tributaries of the Mackenzie are also eligible to apply for the program. This particular coniferous forest is a good example for potential enrollees into the program, but both the riparian habitats are quite distinct and different, but also provide benefits to the water quality which EWEB intends to reward to potential landowners. The important aspect of riparian land is that it facilitates infiltration via canopy and leaf cover. It also provides a diverse species habitat. All of these factors combined with others help to clean the Mackenzie River watershed. By maintaining the riparian habitat, EWEB helps to maintain this watershed into the future for many generations. Thank you.